So this is Eric Lee. I'm here and so honored to invite all of us to talk to Scott Stornetta, who is actually the co-creator of blockchain. And so I would love to ask Scott how it came to be that he invented blockchain.
Well, again, I'm happy to take credit for being inventor of maybe what we'll call the proto-blockchain, because I don't want to take away from all the contributions that others have made since. But the early blockchain was really about the basic insight that if we cryptographically link all the records, widely distribute them, and create an incentive system for all the parties to want to hold on to the records and to be able to validate them, then we really have created a universal ledger that's immutable. So with that qualification, I'm happy to take credit as co-inventor. And the real issue came out of this kind of existential fear that I had that as we moved to a fully digital world, there would be no way to tell authentic bits from ones that had been tampered with, or old bits from ones that had just been changed moments prior to your seeing them. And I just felt bothered by that idea and said, I believe in a happier world, so there must be a solution to this problem. And I'm going to find a way to create an immutable record, not based on the medium that it's stored in, but of the data itself. That was my motivation.
Right. So you mentioned earlier that blockchain, the concepts have been around for about 30 years or so. And it's been just in the last number of years that has really risen to the public consciousness. Where do you see as the kind of the promise of these ideas and this technology? How is that going to impact the world at large in the coming years?
Sure. Well, again, I think it's going to have both incremental, measurable economic benefit as processes can become more efficient, as new value creation becomes possible. But I also think it does speak, quite frankly, to what I guess I'd call my libertarian ideals. And I say that with a little bit of caution because I'm not really a crypt-anarchist, but I'd sure like to see people have more freedom and to see more peer-to-peering of processes. I'm a big fan of what I would call the middle class, namely the idea that we're all about the same, we each have things that we're good at, and the economy should be a way for us to connect, but sort of on the same level, rather than this very severe stratification that comes from real concentrations of power and capital, which I think ultimately is unhealthy. So I think, yes, blockchain is going to make meaningful differences, paying its own way through savings and efficiencies, but I also hold out hope that it's going to make just a slightly better world.
So the things that you're talking about are pretty radical transformations of the world. How do we get started? How do we go from where we are today to a better place in the world?
Right. I think that's a great question. It reminds me of an old Firesign Theater episode where someone explains that you can't get from here to there when someone is asking directions. And the response is, you actually can get from here to there, but you have to be very thoughtful about how to do it. Namely, so often people get so excited about a technology, and I applaud that, and they think, boy, if we could just implement this fully, it would so change the world and things would be radically different from the way they are today. And that's great in terms of an end goal. It's not great as a strategy. A strategy needs to have ways to incrementally solve existing problems that step by step allow you in a revenue generating way so that the process becomes self-sustaining, allow you to eventually get from here to there. And those are the entrepreneurs that I so admire, ones that are really customer focused in in reaching a longer term private ambition.
Right, and you're helping with that today. What are you doing at these?
Right, so I'm a partner at a private equity blockchain focused firm, but I don't really think of myself as an investor so much as someone that gets to help kind of his fellow entrepreneurs succeed. I love meeting people that have great ideas coupled with great execution strategies and trying to help them prosper. I just love that. I've been on both sides, previously, both as an entrepreneur as well as an investor, and I really want the entrepreneurs to win.
Great. Well, I share in that sentiment as well, and we would love to help you take your invention and apply it to the entire world. So thank you, Scott, for
very happy to do
minutes.
that. I don't know if we have 45 more seconds, but you talk about sharing it with the entire world, and let me just say that a singular moment for me, because you do talk about how long it's taken for people to start realizing this, was when one of my sons sent me one of these posters that shows all the different companies working in various segments of the blockchain space. And it was just overwhelming to realize how much talent and capital was coming into a space where, I obviously don't claim ownership of it, but to have felt that I, had an important foundational role to play to get it going. That was just such a humbling experience. And so just the chance to move this thing down the road a little bit and feel like I helped and I can still continue to help. That's a wonderful feeling.
That must be a very satisfying feeling. Thank you, Scott, and
Sure.
For not only doing what you're doing today, but for creating this new world that we're living in.
Well, let's go at it.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again. Thanks, guys.